So Erin Molan addressed the situation in New Orleans and radical Islam in general in a pretty brilliant monologue just now. Check it out.
I want to start by acknowledging the victims of the insidious terror attack in New Orleans. My heart breaks for all of them, their loved ones, those who witnessed the horror unfold, first responders, the entire community. 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, a US citizen, drove a pickup truck into a crowd of people celebrating the new year. So far, 15 dead, many more injured. He then shot at law enforcement before being killed himself. An ISIS flag was on the vehicle. So too explosives. Others were found in the surrounding area. They don't believe it was a one-man operation. They also found videos and writings from the driver of the vehicle that support their view that the attack was inspired by ISIS. Who are ISIS? Otherwise known as Islamic State, a jihadist organization that has killed thousands through their sick and violent brand of terrorism. Now, I want to make the following points and make them really clearly. Those individuals alone are responsible for what occurred in New Orleans. And yes, we've also seen this type of attack before. But make no mistake about it, there's been a perfect storm brewing since October 7. And this is just the beginning. Millions around the world have cheered on terror over the past 15 months, like a sick type of hype crew. They saw evidence of unthinkable violence and murder, video testimony, first-hand accounts from the perpetrators. Yet they failed every single test of moral clarity that ensued. So to all those who have tried to justify the actions of any terrorist organization ever, take a bow. To all those who have had a voice and refused to condemn terrorist attacks, take a bow. To all those who described the slaughter on October 7 as resistance, take a bow. To all those who denied the atrocities that occurred on that day, to babies, to women, to the elderly, take a bow. To all those who marched through our streets in Australia, America, Europe, the UK, either holding or alongside those waving Hamas flags calling to mobilize the Intifada, take a bow. You know why? Because this is what you support. They are Hamas, Hamas are ISIS, they are all terrorists. Do you think what happened in New Orleans was about saving kids in Gaza? Do you think it helps? Were those killed and injured guilty of genocide, occupation? Were they guilty of anything? Wake up. This terrorism is not about freedom fighting. It's about death and destruction, and that is it. And when useful idiots in the West lap up their propaganda and spew it out, rather than supporting those trying to eradicate them, they get stronger. They become emboldened. All forms of Islamic extremism have watched the West's reaction to what happened on October 7, and boy, have they been chuffed. Even in their wildest dreams, they could never have imagined the reaction. And not just from the masses, but from those right at the top. This terror is not confined to the Middle East, only aimed at those genocidal Jews, you know, the evil ones. Despite their people actually the ones that were slaughtered and still held hostage. As I say, terrorism requires three things to not only survive, but to thrive. Useful idiots, tick. Weak leadership, tick in spades. And a silent majority. I don't want to tick that box anymore. It's time for all of us to stand up and say enough, including our Muslim communities. They aren't safe either. None of us are. The irony, huh? So many streets in the West over the past year filled to the brim with those defending the indefensible, chanting slogans they do not understand about a conflict far enough away they felt safe to do so. Well, look now. That same type of terror they tried to justify, well, it's increasingly making its way here, onto those very same streets. These people don't care who they kill, by the way. They're not checking IDs or your Instagram before ramming cars into crowds. You may have chanted from the river to the sea 1,000,000 times, but they will still mow you down without a second thought. Hits a little differently when it's in your own backyard, doesn't it? Not as easy to support this close to home, is it? Wake up.
Brilliant wake-up call by Erin Molan, and she's been warning about this for a while. So shout out to Erin Molan. For more, subscribe to this channel. If you want to help us make more of these videos, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored. That's buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored. Thank you, and have a good one.